Welcome to the finale of Chrono Trigger.
And it only took us 15 months.
We tried, but it's gonna be done. In the last video, we killed Lavos, sort of, but now we're inside of his shell because that wasn't really Lavos. And one last check before I go and fight the final boss. This is the team I'm going with. Magus deserves to be the one to kill Lavos, and considering Luca's the one that did all of the research on who and what Lavos is, she deserves to kill him. And Chrono, well, I'm totally gonna have Chrono in my party. Why wouldn't I?
Now I'm just enjoying the sandwich.
You can fight Lavos with Chrono still dead, which is probably the hardest time to fight Lavos without because you don't have Chrono.
And that's also assuming if you
Lavos.
don't do, and that's also assuming if you don't even do all the side quests.
Yeah. Cell, is that you? No, it's Lavos.
Yeah, it's sort of like Cell.
It looks more like Imperfect Cell to me. Because of the mouth. So this is Lavos, and he's a bastard.
Plus, he was attacking us with his nipples.
I'm just gonna ignore that.
Gaze into his nipples of the future. Oh shit, there's destruction everywhere.
There are multiple different ways you can tackle this boss. I chose to have Luca in my party, which normally I have Ayla because I could just use Falcon Hit and it kills his arms a lot faster. But I decided to go with the nuke strategy this time around.
Just nuke him. Fuck it.
You have to kill the arms first because, like most bosses that have multiple parts, the main body has really high defense until the two other supporting parts are dead. But this is all this fight amounts to. Just spam your best spells. I wish I wasn't kidding, but that's just how easy this boss can be.
Yeah, like you were saying, with having to attack the arms, I'm like, wait a minute. Why didn't Zeal just play like this? Damn it.
I mean, she kind of did.
Not really. Her arms had super defense, and if you attacked them anyway, you just screwed yourself over.
That's another reason why I want to get rid of the arms. He can kind of heal himself for a lot.
Once we get to his last form, though, that's when the shit gets really, like, not mixed up. It's just, it really takes you for a loop.
God, I love this boss name, though.
Yeah, this one's really good.
The final boss theme is my favorite, but this is still pretty damn good. And don't think that he's easy just because his arms are dead now, because if you don't have confusion protection, you can get screwed by that attack. I've had that happen to me. Not my entire party, but he's confused Chrono, which makes the fight take twice as long. This was back before I optimized my equipment by actually looking for armor and shit.
Sounds about right. Excuse me. I definitely needed that sandwich. No, because I knew, because I knew as soon as we started recording this, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to wait 40 minutes to eat, but I'm hungry now.
At this point, since it's just his main body, I would suggest not using too much Luminaire unless you just want to use up all your healing items. Confuse does pretty much the same amount as Luminaire at this point, so you do pretty much the same amount of damage for half the MP cost. But this is why I was pumping everyone full of tabs, because if everyone's magic attack is maxed out, everyone's going to be doing about 2,000 damage to Lavos here, and that's ridiculous.
And you should have had Robo in there for that freaking Uzi punch with the Crisis Arm and the Haste Helm, and just screw this guy over.
I could have, but I felt that Magus deserved a kill, and considering Luca's the one that pretty much figured out everything about Lavos, I think she deserves the kill too.
Honestly, I would have had
Really?
Marl in the party for some sort of poetic justice instead of Luca.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like. That's the beauty about this game is that there's really no wrong party to go with. Pretty much everyone in your party has a reason to want to kill Lavos at this point, not just to save the future. They kind of have a Robo. Kind of only Robo's world doesn't even exist because of Lavos.
Well, it exists. It's just he always lived in complete ruin. So he thought, why not?
Whatever his future was supposed to be doesn't exist because Lavos killed it. Speaking of killing things, so yay, he's dead.
No, he's not.
God, that's Screech though.
Sounds like someone's rewinding a tape.
It does. Frieza, when the hell did you get here? Nah.
That's not Frieza.
You can tell that Toriyama designed him to look like Frieza.
Sort of. If Frieza had duck feet.
It's kind of a cross between Frieza and Perfect Cell. So basically, this is their last minute attempt of explaining what Lavos is. Lavos basically is just an alien that crashed onto the planet. Lavos is basically just a space alien that crashes onto planets and drains all of its life energy until everything is dead. And then he jumps onto another planet. No, in fact, he's the reason evolution exists on Earth in this game. He specifically created humans just so that he can eat them.
Well, not really. I mean, humans existed there before Lavos. I mean, otherwise, Ilo just where'd she come from?
No, that's what.
No, I think you're saying that he influenced the evolution of humans.
Yeah, that's what it was. He basically designed evolution to benefit himself.
Sounds about
right.
Which is why
a lot of people think that Lavos is kind of an anticlimactic main villain, and why most people might say that Zeal is more of the main villain than Lavos. But really, Lavos is a force of nature villain. He's evil because he's evil, and he needs to be stopped. If we don't kill him, he's going to destroy the world, and that's really all you need.
It's more like he's evil because. Well, he's using all of humanity and the Earth to just make himself stronger, and then to spread more children so they could do the exact same thing on other worlds.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like he's really
evil.
Trying to be evil for the sake of being evil. He's just a parasite. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
A really destructive parasite.
Yeah, he's kind of like Majin Buu. He's just evil. He just kills things. Although Boo's not killing things to benefit himself, he's just killing things because he enjoys it. There is a trick to this boss, though.
I don't know if you caught that, because I think Discord did that thing again where, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. What I was saying is Lavos is more of a force of nature kind of villain. He's evil by our terms, because what he's doing is pure evil. But by his logic, he's just trying to survive.
Yep, that's pretty much what I was saying.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, here's the trick with this boss fight. You'd think that the center point there is actually the Lavos core, but it's not. The real Lavos core is the pod on his right.
Plot twist!
I mean, the whole thing is actually Lavos' core, but the life support system that keeps him reviving is the pod on his right, or it would be our left. And he's got bitch moves like this, fucking Dark Star, which drains your HP in half. God, I hate this boss sometimes. For the uninitiated, I had to re-record this because the sound got desynced terribly. Thank you, Logic, for catching that for me.
I'm honestly surprised you didn't catch it. You just threw it up there, man.
I didn't notice that it got desynced when I was
Well, I know when you were recording it, you weren't realizing it, but when you rendered it and put it up, I would have thought you would at least have checked it.
I didn't. I guess I just threw it in there. But point is, I had to re-record it, which wasn't a big deal, but I did die when I was doing this because this boss fight's a bitch sometimes. Once you kill the centerpiece, then the core's actual defense will shut off, and then you can start actually damaging the right pod. The problem is, once the center bit is gone, this happens. Ow!
Pretty much counterattack whenever someone attacks it.
Yes. Anytime the center bit is dead, it's going to counterattack with that attack, and that attack hurts a lot. Also, the right pod absorbs magic.
His right, our left.
Yeah. I do like this. I do like the background, though. Kind of ironic that the background is Magus's castle right now. That's just every couple of turns it says time shift, and then the background is a different time period every time.
That's actually a really nice thing. Then, well, not anything crazy, but it is pretty nice considering Lavos is the one that kind of manipulates time in a sense too.
Yeah, we're basically fighting him inside of a time gate.
Good stuff.
Now, once the defense on the right pod is down, just keep attacking it. Don't worry about, because he's going to keep reviving the center bit over and over again. The only downside is that if the center bit is there, he can use triple techs, which hurt like a son of a bitch. And the left pod is ridiculously hard to kill because I keep unintentionally healing it back to full every time I'm attacking him. God, but this boss theme.
So is the one on our left is it resistant to physical attacks?
No, it just once the center bit comes back, it boosts its defense to max. So you can still hurt it, but you'd only be doing 2 or 3 damage per hit. It takes a few turns for it to put its barrier back up, though. So until it says otherwise, yeah, because it's called the active life pod. It would be neat if instead of just saying the lava score in the bottom left there, it would say active life pod and so on and so forth, just to let you know that there's 3 of them that you can target.
Maybe.
Yeah. You also want to get rid of the left pod because it'll constantly heal the center bit over and over again.
Thing is, though, it keeps absorbing your magic.
That's because I don't care at this point. I'm just trying to hit him as hard as I possibly can. Fucking crying heavens here. God damn, that hurts. There, now it's... And that's essentially all this fight is. Keep getting rid of the left pod, or keep getting rid of the center bit to drop the right cores, to drop the right pod's defense, and just keep going until the right pod is dead. The only problem is this. This is the worst thing he fucking does. So what's your opinion on this final boss, Logic?
It's a thing. It was awesome.
Is this something you actually remember?
Well, the only thing I remember about it was the fact that you have to actually destroy the right bit in order to kill Lavos.
Yeah. To be fair, I would consider this a gotcha moment, but the battle automatically starts with showing that, oh, the right pod has it says the lava score is defended and it has the right pod shining, so the game does specifically say the right pod is the real lava score, so it's your fault if you don't pay attention to that shit.
I guess.
I only remember that because I do remember this being really hard. I remember watching my brother do this, and he actually died the first time he fought it because he didn't realize what he was supposed to do. And I can't blame him for that because most of the time on your first time doing this, you'd have no clue that the right pod is the one you're supposed to be targeting.
Wrong pod! Is it? Or actually, I can't remember.
It is the wrong pod, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of the left pod so that stops happening. There we go. And now that he's by himself, now you can just go all out on him.
Let's go ham.
he is going to revive the center and right bit. He is going to revive the center and left bit after a while, so he's not going to be sitting there doing nothing for the rest of the fight. It also drops his defense once the other pod is gone.
I think it drops its defense when it's trying to revive everybody, like the other parts. And then a little bit after that, it still has its defense down until it's like, okay, I'm back to normal.
Yeah, when the center bit comes back, then it puts the shield back up. Again, if you have haste helms, it breaks this fight. There we go, see? Now, normally I would just go straight to attacking the center bit and the left pod again, but his defense is still up, so fuck it. Or his defense is down, so fuck it, just spam that.
Yep.
I guess that's the only downside to this, is that while I do really like this final boss theme, it's a little bit anticlimactic.
I kind of have to agree on that as well. I mean, I like the background, how this looks, and then, like you said before, this is essentially us fighting inside a time gate.
Maybe it's just because I've done this so many times that I know how this fight works. And there, it's done. Because I guarantee, I will tell you, the first time I fought him, even though I've seen my brother beat him like 7 times, he's not easy. Even if you know what you're doing. Like I said, when I was re-recording this, I died. Because I messed up, and he ended up using a lot of his really strong attacks that can basically one-shot you. Like, if he spams Evil Star, you're screwed. Speaking of being screwed, I think we completely fucked time and space by killing Lavos there.
Oh well.
Well, Chrono Cross will never happen. Time no longer exists. No. But that's the final boss. Oh no. No! Bravely Default, not again! How many times do I have to go through this game? Oh wait.
7.
Oh wait. I didn't time that as well as I wanted to. I love Bravely Default, but goddamn, making you replay the game 6 goddamn times is obnoxious. I am so glad Bravely Second got rid of that shit. And by got rid of, I mean they made it completely optional instead of forcing it. Alright! We're kind of gonna get executed because we kind of ran off with Marl. Because nobody seems to remember, no one seems to know that we were out saving the future for 20 hours. This is a normal ending, by the way. That's another thing I like about this game. NPCs actually, you know, call you by name. There's a lot of RPGs that don't do that.
There's a lot. All the RPGs do that.
Well, usually usually RPGs that make you name the characters. Sometimes they don't flat out say the character's name.
Like, I'd understand that if it was like an RPG that had voice acting. That's for sure. That's like a rarity. And it's obvious because
like how
otherwise,
Kaidos did it. I don't mind.
Like, but with old school RPGs like this, like if they let you name the characters, then obviously they're gonna call you by name.
Well, I should say mostly with silent protagonists, because Final Fantasy IV, Cecil talks all the time, and Cecil's amazing. Also, Luca, are you sure it's okay to have people from other timelines still here?
Hey, we've already destroyed Lavos. At this point, anything we could just blame everything on Lavos.
And this is the game going, yes, Marl is definitely the secondary main character because everybody here is her ancestor. So she's related to Ayla somehow.
Sounds about right.
Ayla is like her great grandmother. And Doan's like her great-great-great-great-grandfather or something.
You'd have to add in like a few 100,000 more greats before you actually reach that level.
I wasn't gonna keep going. But yay, we get to go enjoy the Millennial Fair one more time. Why are Mystics still here?
Because fuck it.
I thought we fixed the future.
Well, it's not like they worked for Lavos; they worked for Magus.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, Magus is still around. I love this ending.
I didn't realize it was Christmas in Chrono Trigger.
It's more like 4th of July.
I guess.
or New Year's, because it's the Millennial Fair. So it's maybe this is New Year's Eve 999.
That would make sense.
Plot twist. The year 1000 was actually the year 999 the entire time. That would explain why this is called the Millennial Fair. We get to talk to people. Yes, we did. Yay! And our mom's not mad at us. Although she's kind of annoyed that we're not home. Oh, no, that was Luca's mom. Never mind. There's my mom.
Oh,
you can take care of the goddamn cat. Oh.
Goddamn skewed priorities.
Wait. I never got a single can of cat food this entire playthrough. My poor kitty.
Yeah, it's
Spoiler
fine.
alert, it doesn't... Spoiler alert, it doesn't matter how many... It doesn't matter how much cat food you give. The cat still runs away. The cat's a jerk.
Yeah, sounds about right. This is why I'm a dog person.
I'm a fan of animals in general. It's just sometimes cats are jerks. You can kind of you can walk around the Millennial Fair. Unfortunately, Gato is not here. I don't know why Gato's not here, since he basically lives inside the Millennial Fair, but he's not here. All the time gates are closing now that Lavos is dead, so there's only one time portal left. There's one gate left, and thank God it just magically is able to throw people to their correct timelines.
Right, it's just open right there. It's not even to a specific one.
I mean, that was the very first one. It's poetic because it's the very first one that appeared.
Well, I think maybe at this point, maybe this gate leads to the end of time, and then from there they reach their own.
Maybe. It'd be some shit if, like, the only one that's there is, like, okay, jump in, and everyone jumps in there, and they all go to 600 AD. It's like, and Frog's happy, but everyone else is like, oh, shit. I also like that. It's like Kino, it's like, be sure to be strong. Like, don't worry, Ayla, good in bed. Kino, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
They censor it to hell in this game, but you know damn well that's what he said. Aw, and Marl got over her fear of frogs. Oh wait, no, that was Luca that was afraid of frogs. Like, hey, I may not be the queen in your timeline, but please take care of my great-great-great-great-grandmother. I don't want to almost die again.
He's like, I'm leaving now. Fuck you all.
There goes Magus. He's going to go look for Shala. If you want to find out what happens, you're going to have to play Chrono Cross. Because unfortunately, that's how you find out what happened to Shala. She just kind of fucked off somewhere after that scene. And you never hear from her again. And keep in mind, they didn't have Chrono Cross planned back then.
Yeah.
Which makes me feel horrible for Shala, because she just kind of gets thrown out. I mean, you get revenge for her by killing her mom, but poor Shala. Also, poor Luca. Oh, this part always gets me kind of sad.
Yeah. It's like the possibility that Robo might not even exist anymore once he steps through that gate.
Yet they don't ever get. I mean, it's a good assumption. You don't know what happens to the future now that Lavos is gone.
Well, it's definitely mostly for the better, I assume.
Oh, don't worry. We actually get to see what the future looks like. At this point, they just don't know. Oh, even Robo's crying.
I'm not crying. I just have an oil leak.
Kind of reminds me of Futurama. Like, that's so sad, Gunther. I didn't even know monkeys could cry. They can't. It's all because of the fucking hat.
God damn it.
Oh, I've been at rest for a while, Luca. Yeah, I'm God in this game. That's weird how they got away with saying that in this game. I mean, you go from time travel, you have time travel the entire time, and you've got this one scene midway in that you don't even normally get unless you're doing Luca's side quest. And cat.
Cat, that's not a laser.
Cat. My bad? Kitty, no!
Mom, no!
Mom, no! Oh, God damn it!
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit!
Could you imagine if they ever really made, like... I mean, I know Chrono Cross is, like, a sequel, but imagine if they made a Chrono Trigger 2. It's just, like, the search for Mom.
I also love that. Like, I also love that. Like, the first time I saw that, my brother and I burst out laughing at that. Like, oh, man, Chrono, that gate's never gonna open again. And then you see Chrono do that fist bump, and it's like, yes! No more... like, yes! No more responsibilities! Even though that's entirely not what he said. It's just like, hey, we still have the Epoch. We can go look for them.
Right.
But I like the thought of going, no, fuck it. We don't have it. It's gay. No more responsibilities.
And then I just imagine, like, that drinking minigame, Chrono just starts smashing on all those freaking drinks. It's like, yes!
And this would be where one of the endings actually slightly changes.
Yeah.
It's a very minor change. Basically all that happens is that instead of the king taking the balloons off of the bell, it's Marl and Chrono, and then they go flying off into the sky with it because the balloons lift them up.
And she just leaves her dad to hang.
He's like, Dad, no. I kind of want to go live my life. Plus, we got a time machine. I got to go save Chrono's mom.
King, you got servants. You could just have them repair your broken legs.
Hey, Tabin. Hey, it's the Moonstone. Wait,
he's like, I can really use some help here. Fuck you, fireworks.
Boom!
Fireworks are way more important than the king's safety right now.
The king's fine. He really just has to let go of the damn bell.
Yeah, honestly, it's not that big of a drop.
Yeah, he'll be fine. And that's Chrono Trigger. Akira Toriyama, thank you so much for the character designs. I'm sorry for everyone watching this how I make so many Dragon Ball references, but when Toriyama's the character designer, you can't really help that. Yeah. This is the main ending. If it was the other ending I was talking about, then during the credits, instead of floating out, instead of being in the Epoch, it would just be Chrono and Marl flying in the sky with the balloons.
Yeah.
I love this game. It's 21 and a half years old, and I still love it. Everything about it just feels perfect. I know perfect is a very subjective term, especially when it comes to video games, and I know I'm kind of quoting Pro Jared here, but everything about this game is structured so well that I just can't see it being any different. Sure, they add a lot of new things in the DS version that make it even better, but most of it's just to tie into Chrono Cross. That's just goes to show how little this game needs to change in order for it to still be good. What do you think?
What do I think? Hang on. I gotta think.
Like, there, see, the future's okay.
So, what were my thoughts? But yeah, like you said, it's definitely structured very well. But, like, by today's standards, it still holds up. But it does have its flaws here and there, but the flaws are very negligible compared to how great this game is.
I mean, for the time when this game came out, it was a very ambitious project. There's no RPG has ever done time travel before. Anyone that actually did either did it to a very minor extent or didn't do it very well at all. I mean, Tales of Phantasia does time travel pretty well, but that's just one particular time period. You go into the past once, and then you have to work your way back to the present. This game, you go to the past, you go to the present, you go to the future.
Distant past, slightly distant past.
And I think the best thing about this game is that everything stays connected to one objective. While they do try to make Zeal kind of the side main villain halfway through the game, it's still all about stopping Lavos. And you're not stopping Lavos because it's the right thing to do. You're stopping Lavos because you got stuck in the future and went, oh shit, there's this giant monster living under the earth. We gotta kill that thing. And nobody else in the world believes you. Except for like the 4 other people that join you. You go through this entire game saving the world from this alien parasite that nobody even knows exists.
Honestly, would you want them to know exists and incite panic?
Well, I mean, that's another thing too. Like, it's not like it's gonna do. It's not like knowing Lavos exists is gonna make a difference. Be like, hey, there's a monster living under the earth. What are we gonna do?
Panic!
Dig our way into it.
No, either everyone's gonna panic or they're gonna use Lavos destroying the world eventually as an excuse to maybe even do even more harm before Lavos decides to destroy anything. I mean, you gotta think of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, look at Zeal.
Yeah, well, Zeal was just trying to use Lavos for her own benefit altogether, and she had the technology to do so, but then that technology got lost. But, like, I'm pretty sure, like, the people in 601,000 didn't have the technology to literally siphon Lavos' energy for their own benefit, as far as I'm aware.
No.
But, like, maybe they would have used the knowledge that Lavos was there as an excuse, like, well, the world's gonna go to shit anyway, here, I'm gonna take over this part of the world, because, fuck it, it's all gonna get destroyed in the end anyway.
Yeah. It's more just because back in that era, they had technology to know that Lavos was a thing, and in one timeline, Zeal does succeed in waking up Lavos and destroying the world. It's just that, thankfully, Magus got sent into a time portal when that happened, so he wasn't around. Same for us, too. This would be where the Super Nintendo version ends, but if you're playing the PS1 version or the DS version, you have a little bit of a... you have an extra scene here. Sorry, there's no subtitles for this. The PS1 version doesn't have subtitles for the credits. Look at all those Dragon Quest characters.
And these two are the most Dragon Quest of them all.
Well, definitely Chrono and Marl are straight up Dragon Quest characters.
Especially Chrono with the little headpiece he has on there. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, he's Loto. It's like intentional that way. Yay! Ayla and Kino get married. I don't know how marriage works in prehistoric era, but I guess they have rings, even though jewelry shouldn't be a thing in this timeline. And we kind of get to see Glenn. And he's Gohan. That's why I named him Gohan in my original run. That or Yamcha with green hair. I'd like to say Gohan because Yamcha sucks. That's another ending. If you beat Lavos with Chrono dead and you end up killing Magus and going to fight Lavos immediately after killing Magus, that ending will let you see Glenn when he's not a frog.
Yep.
And
I brought the booze.
And Marl and Lucas swoon over him because they realize, oh shit, he's actually handsome.
Sorry, Chrono. You could stay dead.
Melchior's like, hey, Melchior, I brought the wine.
Why is the bottle almost empty? I said I brought it. I didn't say I was going to share.
And you get to throw the bouquet, even though I don't think that's a thing in 1000 AD, but whatever, Toriyama, you can do what you want.
Man, this ain't even really Earth.
Oh, it's Earth. They flat out say it's Earth.
It's more like an alternate version of Earth.
Oh, and Luca decides to build Robo in the past anyway. That's adorable. And then there's this kid with the pendant.
I'm gonna steal it.
She's just yoink.
I'm gonna steal the baby.
And that's your tie-in to Chrono Cross. Your very, very vague tie-in to Chrono Cross.
Then here's another one.
And this is the more official tie-in to Chrono Cross. This is the extra ending that's only in the PS1 version, or the DS version if you play that. There's no specific unlock for this. It just happens when you beat the main game at least once. And basically what happens is there's another war in sometime in the year 600. And
no, actually, if I remember correctly, like, it doesn't have the text on here in this particular version of it, but in the DS version it's mentioning that this is actually like 20 years. So it's like 1020 AD, I think.
Yeah. But somebody had the Masamune because there was another fight going on and someone stole it. And that's semi-leading into Chrono Cross. It's a very, very vague tie-in to Chrono Cross, but it's enough.
Yeah, I guess.
I've beaten this game so many times, and every time I still love it. As for Chrono Cross, I don't know if I'm ever going to do a Let's Play of it. I can. It would just involve me buying it on the PSN store, which really isn't that expensive. It's only like $10. But I haven't played Chrono Cross in years, so I'd have to practice that up.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go play not Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. If you want to play more similar games of Chrono Trigger, there's always I Am Setsuna.
It's definitely inspired by that. It has text, double text. I haven't seen any triple text yet, but maybe once I get far enough into it.
Thank you everyone for sitting through this. I know it took a lot longer than it should have. There was a lot of little nuances that happened. Some of it was my fault, some of it was we couldn't have time to meet up. But we got it done, and thank you for all that's said through it. Logic, thank you for joining me on this commentary.
No problem.
And now you don't have an excuse to redo it on your no commentary channel unless you really feel like doing that again.
I might. I mean, I already deleted them off that channel. I was thinking of redoing it.
You can show off the other 11 endings that I didn't show off if you really want.
Nah, you got it. I would probably show them off anyway, but still, you got it.
Yeah. The only ending I can't really show off is the unique ending that the DS version has, because the PS1 version doesn't have that ending.
Yeah.
But that's all for Chrono Trigger. I think I'm going to take a break from Let's Plays for a little bit, mainly because this should have probably been done over a month ago, but...
And by the time we got to this, I'm already done with Let's Plays altogether, so... Yeah. More video games! Hopefully.
Well,
yeah,
well, for me, I usually take like a month break between Let's Plays just so I don't burn myself out, which is kind of I think that's the reason why you stopped doing Let's Plays for that particular reason.
One of the reasons, but it's also because I've just not had the time. Like, even if I had the time to record, I really just want to spend that time to, like, relax, because I've been picking up a lot more work days recently. In fact, like, today is my only day off, so every other day I'm working either in the morning or in the evening, sometimes even 2 shifts in one day.
Yeah, I understand.
If you excuse me, I'm going to go play some I Am Setsuna now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go do something. I don't know. I need to buy some more games now that I don't have anything else to play. Like, shit. I can't think right now. What do I want?
Get that Shantae. Actually, you already have it.
I already have Shantae.
Get it again.
Now, the next game I'm probably going to go for is Xenoblade 2, because Luigi's been telling me how awesome that game is.
I'll get to that eventually once I take maybe like 3 games off my backlog.
Hey, if you manage to make it through Xenoblade 1, you can get to Xenoblade 2 someday.
Even though it took me 2 years to get to Xenoblade 1.
Why don't you just trade Xenoblade X in for Xenoblade 2?
I already traded it in. I got like $20 back.
Alright. Well, again, thank you everyone for watching. Before this gets too long, I'm Sire Goku. Yeah. Then I will see you guys for my next one, whatever I decide that to be. See you guys then.